Streaming is basically part of our lives now, especially since a lot of us have spent time inside the past couple years. Going on your favorite streaming service and binging the new trending show is as natural as breathing now. If there's one thing streaming services have killed that I actually care about, it's Saturday morning cartoon blocks that would air on TV. For those too young to know, every Saturday morning channels would host specific blocks of shows targeted towards kids, usually to sell toys associated with said show. It was the perfect thing to wake up to on a Saturday morning because that was the day for kids to relax. Spend your weekdays doing boring ass homework at boring ass school, and if your parents were religious like mine were, you'd have your ass dragged to church every Sunday. But Saturday was the day you could forget about all that and hang out with friends, play video games, and of course it all started in the morning catching up on your favorite cartoons. When I was a kid, there were several programming blocks that I would watch occasionally, but the one I would always make sure to tune into was 4Kids TV. Originally called the Fox Box, being a collaborator between Fox and 4Kids Entertainment, it was rebranded to 4Kids TV in 2005, until it ended its run in December of 2008. Now, you've probably heard of 4Kids before, probably because of its awful English dubs and censorships of anime. That's what it's mostly known for. And yes, it should be ridiculed for that, but that doesn't change the fact that 4Kids is actually good. It's definitely not perfect, but the shows themselves were awesome, well, most of them. For 4Kids, I probably wouldn't know or even care about a lot of franchises that I like today, so I can't outright hate it. I decided to go back and watch some 4Kids shows to see if I can recapture any of that magic. Except for Yu-Gi-Oh! Boo! I know, it's blasphemous to leave out such a classic, but I want to give Yu-Gi-Oh! Its own time in the sun someday. For now, I'm going to focus on all the other shows that are labeled under original programming on the Wikipedia page, which is still 19 shows. So grab your most comfortable PJs, your favorite cereal, and of course your Game Boy Advance, because we're going back to the mid-2000s. Watch some cartoons. Yeah.
The Fox Box is now 4Kids TV.
We're 4Kids.
So, for action. I'm 4Kids. For comedy.
I'm 4Kids.
For music.
We're 4Kids.
For fun.
We're 4Kids.
It's an all-new 4Kids TV.
Welcome to the Fantasy Zone.
You the man. 2 all-new episodes of Ultraman Tiga next Saturday.
Okay, I know I just said let's watch cartoons, but the first show, Ultraman Tiga, is live action. I never said I was good at planning. First thing we need to discuss is the theme song, one of the most important parts of any Saturday morning cartoon. I didn't like it at first, but it slowly grew on me, especially when the singer just screams, Ultraman! If you're not familiar with the Ultraman series, it's one of Japan's most popular tokusatsu series, similar to the Super Sentai series, which brought us Power Rangers. Unlike Super Sentai, where the characters get in a giant machine and fight monsters, Ultraman is about a guy that grows giant and fights monsters. I have seen some Super Sentai, but I've never seen an original Ultraman series, except for this 4Kids dub, and I don't want to see another version because this one is perfect. You may notice that the footage is of Japanese actors. I thought I remembered this being like Power Rangers or that Kamen Rider show where it would be new footage shot of American actors doing the standard plot stuff, and then the action scenes would be dubbed over in order to save money. But nope, 4Kids decided to just dub over the whole thing like an old Godzilla movie. That's fine, but unlike a Godzilla film where it's just people doing regular voices, here it's a bunch of 4Kids voice actors doing their 4Kids anime voices. Also, the dialogue is ridiculous. When I first found this, I thought I was watching the abridged series, but nope, this is the official 4Kids dub.
A woman
She looks like my yoga instructor.
is true. That creature's gotta be Melba.
Looks like my mother-in-law.
Yeah, you're right.
No, her nose is bigger.
But there's a resemblance.
A good feeling.
A feeling? So it's woman's intuition, eh?
Captain Aruma, I ask you to ignore my distinguished colleague's rude and inappropriate remarks. And Admiral, enough with the fan.
I'll ditch the fan when you fix the air conditioning in here.
Apparently this is because 4Kids didn't really know if they wanted to make the show a parody or be serious, making for some
Fan.
I'd tell you the plot and stuff, but honestly I wasn't paying much attention because I was too busy laughing. If you want a good laugh, go watch this if you can find it. It was actually kind of hard for me to find. I guess I would say the show is, good? I was having a good time, but I wouldn't really watch it again.
Ultraman Tiga will be right back after these messages. At the farthest edge of deep space, there's an army of evil planning to control the universe. The only hope is the biggest, baddest warp star warrior in the galaxy. He's feeling pumped, he's feeling powerful, and he's feeling in the pink? An all-new Kirby, coming up next, only in the
Xbox.
Yep, there's a Kirby anime. If you don't know, now you know. The theme song is alright, just the singer saying Kirby over and over.
Kirby, 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 that's the name you should know. Kirby, 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 he's the star of the show. He's more than you think, he's got maximum pink. Kirby, Kirby, Kirby's the one.
I mean, that's what you tune in for, right? The jazz break's good, yeah? Yeah, okay, it's annoying, especially after you watch dozens of episodes back to back like I did. Kirby Right Back At You is an anomaly, cause it shouldn't be good. Arguably sometimes it isn't, but somehow it's just good. Kirby Right Back At You stars Kirby, no shit, who crash lands on a planet called Popstar in his spaceship. He was cruising around in hibernation because in 200 years he was supposed to be a fully grown star warrior, able to combat and defeat the evil Nightmare, who's kind of chilling in some corner of space running his own infomercial show for monsters. After crashing in Cappy Town, he meets siblings Tiff and Tuff, who befriend Kirby as they help him fight the monsters King Dedede and his crony Eskar Goonby from Nightmare Enterprises. This is a run-of-the-mill Monster of the Week show. Usually Dedede has some scheme that is fueled by his own hubris, which he carries out by the help of some monster, or he tricks Kirby or every single resident of Cappy Town all the time. Because it's not set in the real world like other video game shows that we will get to, it allows the show to explore plots that they couldn't do otherwise. Like one episode is about Dedede mind controlling everyone in Cappy Town by giving them television. He tricks them into working for Amazon. He makes his own anime, and a two-parter that's like a parody of Wacky Races. Do you know what Wacky Races is? Am I alone? But hey, he's not all bad. He says ACAB.
His Royal Highness King Dedede hereby proclaims...
Chief Bookham, your paid siesta fest is over, cause I just got rid of the police force.
Yeah, King Dedede wants to defund the police. Use that information however you want, I guess. He also has the best voice for a villain of all time.
They look like rejects to me. I need something strong enough to get rid of that Kirby, for good.
Like, how can you not love him? The actual villains of the show are the Cappies. Every time something bad happens, they immediately blame Kirby.
Betcha Kirby did this. There's no proof. It could have been anybody.
What is this prejudice they have against him? Sometimes it is Kirby, but he's only doing it because he's been tricked by Dedede, or he doesn't know any better because, you know, he's a fucking baby that barely knows how to talk. Like, what kind of asshole gets mad at this? He could shoot me, and I'd want to give him a hug because he accomplished something. Kirby Right Back At You is a fun show. It's not really funny, the fight scenes are the bare minimum of action scenes, but it's not trying to be some hilarious show or have the greatest sakuga. It's just a fun kid's show about a lovable video game character. Just like the games, its simplicity is what makes it fun. And if you're having fun watching something, sometimes that's all you need. I guess by that logic, Ultraman Tiga is the greatest show of all time. I don't make the rules.
Take it all in when Kirby Right Back At You returns. Get ready to rock and roll with a Space Age brawl.
It's time for a little payback.
That'll really throw down. The intergalactic rumble rages on. An all-new Ultimate Muscle coming up right after Ultraman Tiga.
Ultimate Muscle, the Kinnikuman Legacy, is a sequel to the original manga known as Kinnikuman. This would be a part of the YouTube video where I go into detail about the original series to give you context. But if you were a kid watching this on Foxbox in 2004, you didn't know that. You just thought this was a weird wrestling show, so you don't deserve context. Like Ultraman Tiga, the theme song really needed to grow on me. It's mostly just kinda like spoken rap.
Big bad boys from outer space. Get a body slam, the human race.
Although eventually, after watching it for a while, it did start getting me hyped for an episode, especially this one part.
Well, that's one muscle planet behind the mask they hid. The face of our new champion. King Bear had a kid.
And when I first started watching the show, I didn't like it. Personally, I don't find fart jokes funny, and the protagonist, Kid Muscle, I found to be annoying. Both his voice and personality grated on me a lot. Then I watched episode 2.
I'm Dick Van Dyke.
Alright, Ultimate Muscle. You have my attention. Can you keep it? Man, this dub, they really didn't give a fuck. In a good way. It's surprisingly filled with a lot of fourth wall breaks, tongue-in-cheek humor, and for 4 kids, adult jokes.
Marie, blink your eyes. Do something. Frankly, it's starting to freak me out a little bit.
Sorry, Meat. I was just remembering how that bimbo, Belinda.
Roxanne could come and bring her friends too. We'll have a foursome for golf.
Yes, that front flag Terry's towing is from Tanzania, where Dick Van Dyke saw his very first Dick.
Again, it felt like I was watching an abridged series, but no, it's the real thing. The fights themselves are ridiculously fun to watch. The designs of the different wrestlers can be hilarious, like Diabolic, who's just a phone, and yes, that's his real name. Or Pumpinator, who's a fucking shoe. That's his power, he's a shoe. Or Dick Van Dyke. The powers they have too can make for some creative battles, not really funny jokes. Yeah, despite me liking this, I didn't really laugh a lot. The fights I thought were funny sometimes, but when it leans on the toilet humor, I just tune out. Overall, I surprisingly think this show is okay. Also, Muscle, good show, who would have thought?
Ultimate Muscle will be back after these messages. Coming up later today, the series premiere of Fighting Foodons.
Here's something incredible. These monsters once were edible, so everybody take a look at combat creatures you can cook.
It sucks.
Fighting Foodons is food with attitude.
The series premiere of Fighting Foodons, coming up later today, only in the Fox Box. Don't go away. Ninja Turtles is on 4Kids TV right now.
There's a theory, that whatever was your first incarnation of the Turtles that you watched is your favorite. I'm a believer in this theory because my introduction to them was this show, and yeah, it's still my favorite. Unlike the 80s cartoon, which just did its own thing so they could mostly sell toys, this one follows the original comic closer while doing its own thing so they can sell toys. If you don't know the story of the Ninja Turtles, get out. It's about 4 radical pizza-eating brothers that also happen to be ninjas, and turtles, as they combat whatever evil force is threatening them in New York. Like the Purple Dragons, Shredder, Time Wizards, Alien Shredder, Mutants, Girl Shredder, and Shredder from the Future that's also a digital construct. The theme song is awesome. I still remember this thing word for word almost 20 years later.
Turtles counted off. 1, 2, 3, 4, turtles. There's no one better. Watch out for Shredder. They're like no other.
Problem with me when I come to things that I really like, I can't really talk about them because I become very biased and just want to say it's really good, go watch it. So that's all I'm gonna say. The original first few seasons of the Turtles is great. It has all the weird, cool mutant, alien, extra-dimensional time travel craziness you expect from a show called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Then they sent them to the future.
Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo.
By the 6th season, interest in the Turtles was dying down, so to rejuvenate interest in them, they sent them to New York in 2105. The theme song it's fine. It's not as good as the first. The main problem with Fast Forward is it doesn't really do anything new, besides put the Turtles in the future, which isn't that weird, because we've seen them go to other dimensions and fight aliens, and they've even time traveled before. This isn't really new territory.
It's the only way to play. We're here to stay.
This didn't work, so immediately next season they put them back to the sewer in present-day New York, where they should have stayed. They get another theme song. Again, it's just more of the same, not really breaking new ground for the Turtles. This iteration of the Turtles doesn't go out with a glorious bang, but quietly into the night, as it tried to die naturally, but 4Kids just wouldn't let it because it was pumping out so much cash. If you can, at least check out the first couple seasons. After that, watch at your own risk.
We'll be back with more Ninja Turtles Fast Forward, only on 4Kids TV.
The third point of the Dragon Star is wisdom. Keep watching to learn all 8 and live your life by the code of the Dragon Star. Now back to...
So, the next show's name, I couldn't even pronounce until I saw it. Look at this name. How would you say that? I say WMAC Masters, but apparently it's WMAC Masters. Both are equally stupid. but I'm going to continue calling it WMAC Masters because of how terrible an acronym that is. Also, the MAC part makes it sound like a secret menu item from McDonald's, and I find that hilarious. WMAC stands for the World Martial Arts Council. Masters. The show is about all these experts of martial arts coming together to beat each other in a sort of Mortal Kombat to get each other's key symbols to go on their dragon belt. When they get all of the symbols, they fight the reigning champion to become the WMAC and get the trophy of the Dragon Star. So the show's scripted, obviously, but all the actors are actual trained martial artists. You wouldn't think that, because the choreography is terrible. Sometimes the guy getting hit will fall gently to the ground or move their body in the wrong direction when getting hit. Kind of a waste of these experts in martial arts when we barely get to see them do actual martial arts. It's also kind of perverted too, because every time during these climatic dome matches, the announcer guy says, "The ninjas are penetrating the dome."
Ninjas penetrate the dome.
However, the best parts of the show are what happens behind the scenes. Every episode in between the fights, the fighters talk backstage about their own and each other's backstories, usually unprompted. And the acting in these scenes...
Long time no see, superstar. Accidents do happen. Go! Now, superstar.
This show, I'm pretty sure, was to capitalize on the fighting game uprising in the 90s, considering during matches they show fighters power bars, making it look like it's something from the Sega CD. At first I was into the show because of the cheesy acting and ridiculous fight scenes, but in Season 2 they decided to have this whole ongoing plot about a conspiracy in WMAC, and I didn't care, it was boring. Listen, I don't want this plot that you think is interesting about some sort of like power struggle and deep cover agents and betrayal and stuff. No, go back to teaching me about how real bros keep their promises. That's what I want to watch. Just like a fighting game, I didn't care about the story and just wanted to watch people punch each other and get salty. So first season I enjoyed, second season not so much. Oh, and this show doesn't have a theme song. Well, kinda. It's mostly the narrator introducing the characters with music in the background.
The Machine, Superstar, Red Dragon, Great Wolf.
Lame.
The Dragon Star's 8 points each represent a virtue all masters should embody. Point 6 when WMAC Masters returns.
The next show, Funky Cops, is unfortunately lost media. Not the show itself, you can find it very easily on YouTube, just not the 4Kids dub of it. I was able to find the theme song for it, which is amazing.
When these guys are on patrol, ain't gonna be no rock and roll. Funky Cops.
Seen in San Francisco.
Cleaning up this town, they're really getting down. Funky Cops. Say what?
Doing it with disco.
Like, why did they go so hard for Funky Cops? You couldn't have put that effort into Kirby 4Kids? Other than that, the only other thing I found was this promo called The Fight for the Fox Box. It was kind of a weird, kind of crossover between shows that 4Kids did. It's weird. Don't bother. And after some searching, I was only able to find one episode of the 4Kids dub, the episode Double Life. First thing I noticed is the lip syncing is god-awful.
We bust our butts banging these crooks, and all that DA cares about is her PR.
Great. We could really get down after the day we've had.
Marge, we don't control crowds, we cause them.
The anime dub still was fine, there's nothing too bad. Here they didn't even try. Now from what I know, this is the first show 4Kids got that wasn't from Japan. It's from our crepe eating companions in France. And I know a thing or two about English dubs of French shows, I'm kind of an expert. But yeah, from this one episode I watched, it seemed pretty standard. Whatever. I couldn't find any more, so I can't really judge it. But I will. It's the most okay cartoon I think I've ever seen. Everyone working on it did their job. Except for the people that made the theme song. What were you people on? And where can I smoke it?
Funky Cops will be back. Can you dig it? Don't go away. An all-new Sonic X is on 4Kids TV right now.
Alright, I know what you're all thinking. Alright, here we go. The Sonic simp is going to go on forever about how much he loves Sonic X. Sonic X is awesome. It's the greatest show of all time. And you're right. I don't keep this autographed picture of Sonic the Hedgehog on me at all times for nothing. Theme song is awesome. It pretty much made the Gotta Go Fast meme and gets you hyped for the show. Enough said. The show follows Sonic and his friends who get sent to Earth after a fight with Dr. Eggman activates Chaos Control. And there is the main problem with the show. Earth. And the humans. Much like life, in a way. Sonic and his friends hang around this kid named Chris, who's like this super rich kid with an inventor uncle, a maid, a butler, famous parents, and an uncle that's a race car driver slash cop. You know, all relatable kid stuff. He always just kinda hangs around. He doesn't really serve a purpose at all. The other human characters kind of make sense, like Chris's teacher is an undercover agent from the government to spy on Sonic to make sure he's not a threat, and Topaz, who's another government agent who works with Rouge to do spy shit, and they're a power couple. But the kids just exist. This is especially apparent in later episodes where Chris and others are just kind of shoved into plot lines from the games. Chris somehow reminds Shadow of Maria? What? Like, if anything, there's this girl in a wheelchair in the show that looks and acts more like Maria does, but nope, it's gotta be Chris because he has this weird obsession with Sonic because he's some kind of freak. The show got 3 seasons. The first is just a bunch of episodic stories of the characters trying to acclimate to the human world. Eggman attacks, there's a Chaos Emerald. It's okay. I love that baseball episode. The second one is better, and yes, that's only because they start doing plot lines from the games. They got the adventure titles, Sonic Heroes, the advanced games, even Sonic Battle. For the fact that it calls back to my gaming nostalgia and follows them pretty well, it gets extra points from me. And then, Season 3. See, Season 3 they decided to do their own original storyline since there were no games they could follow at the time. And even though Sonic and his friends are back on Mobius, instead of having them exploring this world, going on fantastical adventures, they have them go into space and fight the villains, the Meterics. The Meterics. There's also a new girl called Cosmo, who it's the 4Kids dub, so she's just a good friend of Tails, alright? They're just friends. He wouldn't quit Sonic like that. Also, so get this shit, right? Chris, in his world, 6 years later, he's been so obsessed with seeing Sonic again, he dedicates his life to recreating that interdimensional portal thing that Chaos Control did so he could see him again. It works. And for some reason, when he travels between interdimensions and finds him, he's a kid again.
P.S. I'll tell Sonic and the others you said hello.
Sonic!
For fuck's sake, kid. Get a girlfriend, a boyfriend, significant other, whatever, a hobby. Like, who spends years of their life obsessing over an anthropomorphic blue hedgehog? It's ridiculous. I say Season 3 is okay. It didn't need to exist in my opinion, but it's not bad. Despite its flaws, I obviously love this show. It's one of the reasons I love Sonic today. Not as much as Chris, I guess.
Don't run off. We'll be right back with more Sonic X only on 4Kids TV. Stay tuned for a Shaman King sneak peek, followed by the exciting conclusion of the Turtles triple play. Right here in the Fox Box.
Next up is the original Shaman King anime, very topical considering the recent remake that was released last year in 2021. Shaman King revolves around Yo Asakura, a shaman, a medium between the worlds of the living and the dead. Yo seeks to become the Shaman King, the one who is able to contact the Great Spirit and will gain the ability to reshape the world in any way they wish. And to become the Shaman King, you must win the Shaman Fight, which is a tournament held once every 500 years between all the shamans of the world. Man, these Wikipedia entries make my life so much easier. And yeah, the show is really good. I don't really have much else to say. Yo's a great protagonist to follow. His laid-back attitude, his unique approach to showing an anime protagonists who are usually these energetic idiots who mean well, but Yo's just a chill dude. The story I felt was paced very well. Like, the actual Shaman tournament doesn't even start until episode 14, because the beginning episodes are all setting up characters and subplots. I love it. If I were to nitpick, I would say the show's comedy falls flat for me. They rely on fart jokes a bit too much in the beginning. You can also tell that 4Kids heavily changed some lines in this show. Like, sometimes a character will say something, and the other characters have a reaction to it that makes no sense.
Remember, the first one to run out of Furioku loses the match. Now let's put our friendship on hold and let's me and you get down to it. Like I said before I went off the cliff face at Pico, no fear, no regrets.
But yeah, Shaman King, there's a reason it's considered one of the best Shonen Jump series. It was so good they made it twice.
Are you sick and tired of putting out fires, cutting the grass, taking out the trash, solving crime, and wasting your time? Why not have a robot do all the work? Cubix, premiering this September, only in the Fox Box.
Alright, this one's gonna be short because I didn't like Cubix. It's about this kid named Connor who, after moving to the new city of Bubbletown, he fixes up a robot called Cubix. And they fight evil robots corrupted by... I'm gonna be honest, I forgot the name of the thing that corrupts them. I don't care to look it up. So the thing I did like was the theme song. It wasn't bad, and it did get me hyped to watch some robot fights.
The world's a good and bad, 'cause I gotta fight day and night. 'Cause you got the robot who sets everything right. Cubix, powers beyond compare. Cubix, evil forces better beware.
And yeah, that's all I liked about the show. Oh right, I didn't mention Shaman Kings because it was bad. Now let's move on to some things that I didn't like how the show looks. It's not terrible, it's horrifying. The character designs are either so generic and forgettable, or ugly. You think the robot designs would be cool because, you know, they probably want to sell toys of it, but I don't remember any other one besides Cubix because he's made to look so unique. A lot of the other robots look like random polygons they put together, kind of remind me of a PS1 game. The characters are boring, one-note nothings. Connor is the most standard protagonist ever. He's a new kid, he has a dead mom. He sees these beings people live with as his friends, and everyone is like, "Oh gross, you befriend fucking robots, you're crazy. You can't build an emotional bond with something that isn't human." His friends are a nerd, fat jock, and girl. His dad is racist towards the robots for some reason, despite them being a very essential part to everyday life. It's like being racist against your toaster. The character Hella is cool. Oh, the villain sucks too. Yeah, did not enjoy Cubix. If you want a good show about robot fights, go watch Metabots.
Ready to rock and roll, Cubix?
Ready. Security alert. The perimeter of Robix Corp has been breached.
Robots multiplying at increasing rate.
Cubix, robots for everyone, premiering this September only in the Fox Box.
Don't go away. An all-new Winx Club is on 4Kids TV right now.
Aw yeah, son, here's a show I have zero interest in, the Winx Club. This is also the first Italian cartoon I think I ever saw, if you don't count the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, which I do. The series follows the adventures of a group of girls known as the Winx, students at Alfea, a school for fairies. The team is made up of Bloom, Fairy of Fire, Stella, the Fairy of the Sun, Flora, the Fairy of Nature, Techno, the Fairy of Technology, Musa, the Fairy of Music, and then in Season 2 they get Aisha, the Fairy of Waves, but I didn't make it that far. The theme song I think is very catchy. It did get stuck in my head for better or worse.
Magical flowers, digital powers, rhythms and tunes, the sun and the moon. Keep on searching far and wide for the fire burning deep inside.
I like the music overall. For some reason there's a musical montage in every episode. I did like some concepts from it, like how the girls' powers aren't all generic elements or something. Like I said before, one girl controls music and the other technology. And being fairies instead of just generic magicians or wizards is creative and helps it have its own identity. I also like how the world isn't just some generic fantasy world, it's like science fantasy with hover cars and shit. Now my problems why I couldn't get into the show were mainly the pacing. It goes a mile a minute. The first 2 episodes I understand what's happening, but things are moving so fast. Bloom finds Stella in like the first 3 minutes, and then right after she rescues her, she instantly starts being like, "Oh, whoa, you got Winx magic. Let me tell you all about my other dimensional school and every single aspect about it." Lip syncing being so off was really distracting for me. Like Funky Cops, they didn't even try to match what was being said.
Great brainstorm! You should come to Alfea with me. It's like so far and away the best magic school in the whole 8-realm area.
Hold it! My daughter's not going to another realm.
The animation at times could also be very bad.
Come on!
And alright, I know this is the nerd in me nitpicking a show for young girls, but I don't understand the rules of magic here. I guess everyone can just do whatever the fuck they want. There's no laws or restrictions.
What's cool is that everyone here knows magic, and unlike us, they get to use it for anything they want.
The teachers in the show can seem to just take people's powers away. It's just a thing they can do. Why are there any problems if they can do that? There's even an evil school that educates witches who, I don't know, they go around being dicks. after they graduate and nobody does anything about it, no matter how many times they attempt to destroy the fairies or how they constantly talk about destroying them? Is that not an issue for people? Now, I did only watch like half of season 1 of the show, because like I said, it just didn't interest me, so I don't know if they might explain that stuff later. And I don't think the show is bad at all. In fact, I know it's very popular, especially in Italy. It has about 8 seasons and it lasted until 2019. They also made a live-action Netflix show. I haven't seen it, but Winx Club fans tell me it's shit.
Want more magic? We'll be right back with more Winx Club, only on 4Kids TV.
Don't go away. F-Zero GP Legend is on 4Kids TV right now.
Alright, so somehow 4Kids managed to get 2 Nintendo animes, the second one being F-Zero. Now, I love F-Zero. It's one of my favorite racing games, and it's one of the many franchises that Nintendo refuses to acknowledge anymore. This show it's kind of lost media. The original anime is easy to find, but only 15 of the 51 episodes were dubbed by 4Kids before the show got cancelled due to low ratings. I'm not sure about the other 36 episodes either. I read somewhere that they didn't dub them at all, that they did, but they destroyed them after the show got cancelled because they didn't need them anymore, or they exist somewhere in that warehouse where all lost media for cartoons exists. The show follows Rick Wheeler, a police detective and race car driver from our present day who, after getting into an accident chasing the criminal Zoda, is cryogenically frozen and reawakened in the year 2201. In the future, the world is gripped by a new type of racing called F-Zero, and the evil organization Dark Million Organization races in it to get prize money to fuel their evil goals, which are, I'm not too sure on their goals, world domination, universal domination, I guess, but they're led by a guy named Black Shadow, and media has taught me that anyone black is evil. Darkness even revives Zoda to race for them for some reason. So to finally bring Zoda in for his crimes, Rick joins the mobile task force called the Mobile Task Force and becomes an F-Zero racer to help protect the universe. And yeah, if you're wondering, the main character and most recognizable character from F-Zero, Captain Falcon, is in it, but he does that thing of only showing up when he's needed so he can be badass and then he leaves. I kinda wish he was in it more, but he's cool, so I'm not upset about it. Now, unfortunately, I can't judge the whole thing, because as I said, they only dubbed 15 episodes, but much like all the other anime I've seen besides one so far, it's a good dub. Theme song is disappointing. If you've played F-Zero, you know it's accompanied by kick-ass rock music that hypes you up during the races, but the 4Kids theme is this techno, futuristic beat. Like, I get what they're going for, and the GameCube game kinda, sorta had music like this, but come on man, it's F-Zero, I want some rock. I'm not really going to comment on the story and characters, because I think they're all fine, and we only get about 1/4 of the whole picture in the dub. And yeah, I know what we're all thinking. Rick Wheeler, he's from Brooklyn. Joey Wheeler, Brooklyn Rage. They're clearly related. F-Zero and Yu-Gi-Oh! Confirmed to be in the same universe.
Don't go away. An all-new One Piece is on 4Kids TV right now.
Alright, I know this is the one everyone was waiting for. I think when anyone thinks of 4Kids and their dubbing and censoring practices, they think of One Piece's dub. Alright, I know the theme song gets a lot of criticism for being a pirate-themed rap, and for being shit.
His name is Luffy. That's Monkey D. Luffy. King of the pirates. His name's Zolo. He's just like a samurai and a L-A-D-Y. Nami's not shy. Usopp's doing that marksman thing. Sanji's cooking. Chopper's doctoring.
All I'll say about it is Kendrick Lamar real quiet since the track dropped. Now the show is just One Piece, so I'm not going to recap it or give my opinion on it. I'm just going to talk about the 4Kids version. The dub, this is definitely one of the most questionable 4Kids voice choices. Definitely the worst one of all time is what they chose for Sanji.
Hey, lover girl who treats me like dirt. Hey, gorgeous, you remember me, right? Any chance you're free Friday?
Sanji, if you know what's good for you, just keep sucking your candy.
Please, you think your little threats scare me?
They would also give people accents based on their attire. Most of the pirate jobbers would talk like stereotypical pirates. And they gave Nico Robin a country accent, because in her first appearance, she wears a cowboy hat.
Felt sorry for a little princess who'd take on all of Baroque works. What should I call you?
A spoiled brat?
She's not Southern. Yes, there are the infamous edits in the show of them removing things like cigarettes, guns, any type of violence or sexual stuff, so all the good parts. But the thing that bothered me is 4Kids would heavily edit episodes, cutting out important scenes and sometimes even skipping entire episodes. Again, with all of these heavy edits and the voice performances, the show comes off as an abridged series to me, but not a good one like the actual One Piece abridged series. I can't truly be mad at it. It is the thing that introduced me to One Piece, which has now become one of my favorite mangas, so it did something right. Fuck it though, for making me think Zoro's name was Zolo for like a decade. Not cool, 4Kids.
We'll be right back with more One Piece, only on 4Kids TV.
Mew Mew Power is on 4Kids TV right now.
Alright, so now we're going to go on a little Magical Girl binge. The next two shows we'll be talking about fall into the Magical Girl genre. First off is Mew Mew Power. Words I thought I would never say in that order. Now I was interested to watch this because I did skip out on a lot of the Magical Girl anime that was airing when I was a kid. Because, you know, I was a cool boy. I watched cool boy anime like Queen's Blade. Now I know I wasn't too into Winx Club, but to be fair, it's because I hated watching it. Mew Mew Power I also hated watching. I will say that I did like the theme song. It grew on me. The lyrics are gibberish and generic, just shouting team up and working together, but goddammit if it didn't get me excited to watch an episode.
But it's hard to say the word when you're falling in love. If we band together like birds of a feather, we'll be friends forever, going up, up, up.
Now as far as I know, this is another heavily edited 4Kids show. Transformation scenes, character names, origins, plot details, the whole thing. Weirdly too, they air what was supposed to be the 12th episode of the original show as the pilot. But then after that they air everything in chronological order. Also, like F-Zero, not all the episodes were dubbed. Only 23 of the 52 episodes aired in America, and weirdly 24 through 26 only aired in Canada, no doubt due to some evil Canadian plot to take over the world. Mew Mew Power follows Zoe Hansen, an ordinary high school, middle school girl. I don't know if they actually say what grade she's in. She is a Mew Mew, part of a magical girl squad that channels animal spirits to fight, kind of like Power Rangers. Interestingly, the animals that they channel are all endangered species. Zoe channels the Iriamote cat, and she teams up with Karina, who channels a blue lorikeet, Bridget, who channels the finless porpoise, Kiki, who channels the lion tamarin, and Renee, who channels the gray wolf. They defend Earth from a group of aliens called Cyniclons who polluted their own planet too much and are jealous that humans were able to pollute a planet and keep it, so they act like dicks because they're jealous of our pollution skills. I'm not making any of that up, that is in the show. So I didn't like the show mostly because of the main characters. They never felt like friends to me. There's zero chemistry between them. They also have very little development and time for us to get to know them. Even Renee, who had a two-parter to introduce her, I don't know anything about her. It's like after 2 episodes of rejecting and joining a team, at the end of the second episode, they defeat a snake lady, and then she's like, yeah, I'll join you losers, whatever. Like, what? I'm pretty sure it's 4Kids' fault for this. I haven't seen the original, but I could tell that they heavily edited every episode. The only character I surprisingly liked was Kiki, who I thought would be annoying, but her positivity and high energy made her fun to watch. Everyone else was lame. Zoe was only interested in getting dicked by Mark. I didn't mention Mark, he's the main love interest of Zoe. He's very boring. He doesn't even have a last name. That's how unimportant he is. Karina is a dick. Bridget is just boring. And Renee is not as cool as the show wants you to think she is.
Just gets you thinking about everything. I mean, life is so delicate and fragile.
Mark is so deep.
Karina? I'm really super sorry for what I did.
It's okay. It's not your fault my life no longer has meaning.
Well, I haven't liked 2 out of the 3 Magical Girl shows so far, but there's one more to go. Maybe I'll like that one.
We'll be right back with more Mew Mew Power.
Now back to Magical DoReMi, only on the CW4Kids.
I didn't like it. It's what I thought I was going to say, but no, I actually liked it a lot. Magical DoReMi follows Dory Goodwin, an 8-year-old girl with an interest in magic and the occult. One day after school, she finds a magic shop in her town and accidentally discovers that the owner, Patina, is a witch. And due to a curse placed on all witches, if a witch is discovered, they get turned into a weird slime frog thing. So in order to turn herself back, she has to train Dory and later her friends Rianne and Mirabelle into full-fledged witches so they can have enough magical power to turn her back. This show is just fucking charming, man. I love the art style, it's freaking adorable, and the faces and poses the characters make during comedic moments are hilarious. I also love that the plot is purely a self-servicing one. Bettina is not training Dory to fight some great evil or defend the world, just to turn her back to normal. Because of that, the show is very comedic and lighthearted in tone. Most of the episodes are just the girls dicking around with magic and having fun, and that's the main thing. I was having fun when watching this. I love Dory, she's just a fun kid. Trust me, that's harder to find in these shows than you think. Once she finds out she has to be a witch, she isn't like, oh, I don't want to, it sounds terrible. Nah, she fucking loves it.
A green blob, I gotta train you to become a witch! Oh no! Wait, you can do that?
Honestly, she's probably one of the best kid characters in an anime I've seen in a while, and I've seen like 4 anime. Rianne is more of kind of like the straight man of the group, sort of, but she's also willing to go along with whatever plan Dory or Mirabelle has just so she can have fun. Mirabelle was kind of annoying at first. Her original character is from Osaka, and they speak in a different dialect than standard Japanese, so usually in English dubs, they make characters who are from there have southern country accents, and I think that's what the voice actor was trying to do. But then later in the episode she's introduced in, you find out she's just a lonely kid because she only has her dad, who works 2 jobs to help support them, and she wants to ask him to come to Parents' Day, but she doesn't want to be seen as a burden, asking him to drop everything for it. And
Yeah, but I don't want you to... I mean, I didn't say anything because I don't want to be a burden to you, Pop. It just... What's going on? Why are my cheeks getting all wet? I can't believe you blew off your job for me. You're so... You're so stupid!
Being your dad is the only job that matters to me.
that's how you do an introductory episode. Mew Mew, take notes. Also, that episode has 2 really funny moments from Dory.
What are you talking about, kid? You don't need to use magic. Just tell him to go. Of course! I'll use magic and make a duplicate of her father, and then one of them can go to work and one of them can come to school.
That's
it's
not
perfect. Well, at least I tried. Now I can use magic!
I just love it. I'd say the one thing that didn't grow on me was the theme song. It's okay. It's not bad. It fits the show. I just don't think the beats are memorable or very catchy.
Don't you worry, just you wait. Everything's gonna be great, just like magic. Watch and see. Magical DoReMi, like magic. 1, 2, 3, just like magic. That's me.
If you have not seen this show, go watch it. It's great. And hey, at least we got 1 out of 3. Not a great score, but not irredeemable.
Magical DoReMi will return right after this, only on the CW4 Kids.
Now back to G.I. Joe Sigma 6, only on 4Kids TV.
I don't even remember a G.I. Joe revival show. So G.I. Joe Sigma 6 is a revival of the original G.I. Joe toys from the 80s, and the show somehow got produced by 4Kids. There are only 26 episodes, and the toy line lasted 2 years. Oh boy. Now, if you've never seen G.I. Joe, well, G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force. Its purpose? To defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world. I can see why the show didn't last long. It's really boring. Starting with the theme song, it's some generic 2000s theme. That's all I can describe it as. If you've ever heard the G.I. Joe theme from the movie, which you should because it's awesome, you'd know this is trash. The characters look so basic, like the most generic 2000s reboot redesigns I've never seen. They have no personality. They're just the leader, the funny one, the black guy, the woman. The only characters I liked were Snake Eyes, because he's just awesome by default, kind of hard to fuck him up. And the Baroness, because she is really hot in anime form. Everyone else is a boring action hero stereotype that only speak in cheesy one-liners, kind of like action figures. Well, they got me there. There are also these new characters, I think. I haven't seen the original, so I don't know. Like, Snake Eyes has these apprentices who are kind of lame, they don't really do much. Also, how does he teach them if he doesn't talk? And there's this. Alright, this is the most anime thing in this show. A super genius kid that is able to hack into Cobra's systems and perfect this super soldier serum or whatever, I wasn't paying that much attention because of the stupidity of a child being able to hack into a global terrorist organization's systems, extract the formula for a super soldier serum, and perfect it before the terrorist's own supercomputer could do it. Yeah, boring show, didn't like it. Next.
Now back to G.I. Joe Sigma 6. Now back to Viva Pinata, only on 4Kids TV.
It sucks.
You're watching Viva Pinata on 4Kids TV.
Now back to Chaotic Marillion Invasion on 4Kids TV.
Well, we're not talking about Yu-Gi-Oh, but we are talking about the next hottest card game, Chaotic. Chaotic. If you don't remember the show or card game, you're missing out. I watched this when it first came out, and as a lover of card games, I played it all the time. We're not here to talk about the card game, though. We're here to talk about the show. Chaotic follows Tom, once again voiced by Sonic.
Okay, let me back things up to this afternoon. It was just a normal day in my normal life.
Sorry, I just can't not hear it. Tom and his friend Kaz play the new hottest card game Chaotic down at their cafeteria, when one day Tom gets a code that transports him to the real Chaotic. That's actually what the place is called. Here, players don't just play the game, they become the game, by transforming into their creatures and fighting for reals. Tom also meets fellow players Sarah and Peyton, who he befriends quickly, and the show follows the four of them as they just play the game, really. However, there is another side to Chaotic, the world of Param, the place that the card game is based on, where all the characters, locations, equipment exists and actually have their own ongoing storylines that we see throughout the show. The players can go to Param and scan the many things there to add to their deck at the risk of dying. But you gotta get that ultra rare card, bro. How else are you gonna impress Sarah? The theme song is great. It's just this epic piece that fits the mystical adventure these characters are going to go on. An episode typically consists of 1 or 2 plots. The cast is usually off in Param trying to get a rare scan or something, and they interact with its inhabitants, giving them and us more insight into the world and lore of Param. The other half is one of the cast playing the card game, usually against some jobber you'll never see again. Personally, I always enjoyed the card game stuff more. This has always been the case for any show dedicated to selling me a product. I don't care about the politics and social climate of your fantasy world. I want to see what new cards I can buy. And this is mainly because I have a lot of questions about everything, like how the chaotic technology works, who discovered this world and made a card game out of it, what happens if you actually die in chaotic because it's not your real body, it's like some other version of like code, kind of like Tron or Digimon, you just get digitized or something. It's whatever, don't think about it too much, you'll have a good time. The main characters are fine. I really have no problems with them, and I think that's a bad thing because I don't care about them. I think it's mainly because we don't see them much outside of the chaotic world. We know very little, if anything, about their personal lives. We only really ever see Tom and Kaz in the real world sometimes. I wish it was developed more because a lot of that development was saved for Param. The fights, not the ones in Param, the card game ones, are surprisingly fun to watch. I think one of the reasons is how much the location matters. Like the actual card game, it can give certain creatures and gear advantages and disadvantages, and if a player knows it well, they can even use the environment in their strategy.
Excellent. Using the cave to your advantage. Didn't expect that, dude.
I also dig the art style. It's cheap flash animation, but it's got a kind of charm to it. It kind of reminds me of those Canadian cartoons, like Total Drama and 16, if you've ever seen those. Until Season 2, when they switched styles to a more generic anime style, which sure, technically I guess it looks better, but the Flash style was more memorable to me. I feel like it gave the show more of an identity. Chaotic, surprisingly good show. Honestly, I'd say it's the best 4Kids show. I recommend checking it out. All the episodes are on YouTube, and even the original creator said that there's a revival series in the works, so no better time to catch up than now.
Chaotic Marillion Invasion will return, only on 4Kids TV.
Get in the game with Dinosaur King, right now on 4Kids TV.
Alright, the final show we will be looking at is Dinosaur King. If Chaotic was to ride off of Yu-Gi-Oh!, Dinosaur King is made to ride off of Pokemon. It also reminds you of Pokemon because the voice actors for Ash and Misty are in this. Kinda weird to hear sometimes. Dinosaur King follows Max Taylor, the son of paleontologist Dr. Spike Taylor. After falling out of bed early one morning and witnessing a meteor fall from the sky, Max sets out with his friends Rex Owen and Zoe Drake into a forest where the meteor had crashed. There they find stones with the symbols of lightning, wind, and grass on them, and a card with a picture of a Triceratops on it. The Triceratops, that is later named Chomp, is accidentally activated when Max rubs the card on the stone. They soon find that there are cards like this all over the world, and when they are accidentally activated, dinosaurs start rampaging. To stop this, the kids are sent around the world with the help of Spike's assistant and Zoe's older sister, Reese, to retrieve the cards before the evil Alpha Gang, consisting of Dr. Z, Ursula, Xander, Ed, Seth, Laura, Rod, and Helga, get them. The Alpha Gang needs to get the cards back because they were originally theirs and they were lost when their time machine exploded and stranded them in the present. Yes, they're from the future, obviously. Dinosaur King is a pretty middle-of-the-road monster collecting kids show. It hits all the areas you want: generic kid characters to project yourselves onto, cute and cool monsters, and wacky and incompetent villains to give you a laugh until the actual threat shows up at the season finale. Surprisingly, the characters I liked the most were Ursula, Xander, and Ed, who are kind of like the Team Rocket of this show. I thought I would find them annoying, but they were the only ones to really ever get a laugh out of me.
Place.
According to Dr. Z, an Ankylosaurus was detected right in this area.
Oh, that's comforting. You mean the same man who blows up his own laboratory every other week?
Yep, that's our fearless leader.
And I usually hate running jokes in kids anime because they use them in every single episode, but sometimes they would use the one here kind of cleverly. It would catch me off guard sometimes. The one I'm talking about is one where the kids, mostly Zoe, often call Ursula an old lady, and she gets mad about it. Well, there's this one episode where they actually use it to their advantage when the kids are looking for the Alpha Gang, and they call her an old lady to find her.
Huh. That old lady sure disappeared quick.
She does make good time for such an old lady.
You wouldn't think that an old lady would be so hard to spot.
Nice try, but it's not gonna work.
It worked.
Uh-oh.
That caught me off guard. I didn't expect them to use that. It was pretty funny. Other than that, I don't have much to say about the show. Dinosaur King is okay. I mean, it's no fighting foodons. That's a good thing. Oh yeah, theme song. It's alright. So that's all the 4Kids shows I looked at. It was fun to go back to see some shows that I remembered fondly and see they were still as good as I remembered. And I was surprised by some shows I never really paid attention to and how good they were. Some I'm not even going to remember once this video is done. In conclusion, I think 4Kids should be remembered. Not as this group of people dedicated to censoring all good things about anime, but as this company that wanted money. Lots of money from kids. And hey, in that quest for money, they accidentally made some good stuff. So why not enjoy it? That's how I hope to be remembered one day. Well, I don't see any other better way to end this. Ladies and gentlemen, the cast of 4Kids singing the American National Anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light
what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming,
whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight
o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming,
And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air,
gave proof through the night
that our flag was still there.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Happy 4th of July from all of us at 4Kids TV.
Don't forget to subscribe.